And we are back on WGN TV Political Report. U.S. Supreme Court brings their term to a close tomorrow. They're not done with decisions, but they've had a lot of remarkable cases and important cases that have come down already. Let's talk about them with our constitutional law expert. He's a constitutional law professor and a practicing lawyer. He's from St. Xavier University. It's our old good friend, Rob Shapiro. Professor Shapiro, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Paul.
So I want to use our time to talk about what has been important in this term of the Supreme Court. I think we have to say that the Affordable Health Care Act was one of the key cases. They kept it, they saved it, but once again, not substantively, just on legal grounds called standing.
Yes, it's true. Even Justice Alito complained in one of his opinions that the court just keeps knocking down the challenges, and eventually it's going to have to face up to the substance of the act. And they just seem determined to uphold it. Maybe that is the message at the end.
Well, let me just briefly ask you, I mean, since what they said was, hey, there's no penalty, Congress got rid of that, therefore nobody can have any injury, and without an injury, you can't challenge it. So could this be the end of the challenges?
Well, I think that it's a possibility, but there is enough opposition to Obamacare that you can't discount the possibility that others will figure out other ways to challenge the matter.
A lot of our viewers have kids, maybe they are kids, and they like to maybe use bad language when they're not in school. So let me ask you, we had the Supreme Court rule this past week on the Mahanoy case, in which they basically said, look, if a kid uses bad language because she's mad because she didn't get the cheerleading position, and she does it on Snapchat, there is some level of free speech that the court's going to protect, even though Justice Thomas wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, some level, but this again was decided on very, very narrow grounds. What they said is that there was no showing or no sense that this was having an actual impact on campus, and left open the possibility that an off-campus act or off-the-campus speech that did have an impact on campus could be controlled. Once again, the court's taken very, very narrow grounds, and as a result, been able to build some substantial majorities on their various decisions.
The Catholic Social Services in Philadelphia, in that case, the court essentially recognized religious freedom, saying if they didn't want to foster kids with same-sex couples, they could do that. It was kind of technical to the Philadelphia law, but is it fair enough to say that when we look at this U.S. Supreme Court's makeup, the notion of religious freedom is probably likely to trump the day over a lot of other maybe LGBTQ issues coming up, such as the baker who didn't want to bake a cake for the gay couple? That may rear its head back in the court coming up as well.
Well, the one thing we know about this court is it's very, very determined to protect religious rights. We saw that during the pandemic itself, where some of the decisions that were being made by political officials were actually overruled. The court's very, very concerned about protecting religious rights. And interestingly enough, both the conservatives and the liberals seem to have a common interest here. It's one of the things that Chief Justice Roberts has done, is tried to build coalitions that can build more than just 5-4 majorities, and he's been very successful in doing that.
And the court decided to treat the NCAA like they're any other corporation and basically said, yes, it's okay if schools want to give perks like computers or internships to students. Is that opening the door essentially for student athletes to get paid down the line?
It could. We don't know how far the court's going to go, and it left in the NCAA's control the decision-making or the rule-making powers. So it's a little unclear, again, just how far the court's willing to go. Narrow decision, again, a substantial majority, but very, very, very narrow in its grounds. And this seems to be the way this court is going.
And we're likely to get tomorrow the voting rights case, in which the court deals with, how far a state, in that case Arizona, can go in limitations like drop boxes and that kind of thing. How should we watch that case for what it tells us with regard to all these laws being passed around the country?
Well, yes, it's very important. As you may have seen, the Justice Department on Friday filed a lawsuit to basically overturn the Georgia election decision. And I believe this is a brewing battle, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the Supreme Court handles this issue going forward.
Well, I want to take a little time and look ahead at the new term coming up, because we do know some of the matters that they're going to be dealing with. One critical one are abortion rights cases. Basically, you have a state, I think many a state saying basically we're only going to allow women to have an abortion up to 15 weeks rather than 24. And then, of course, Texas just passing a law to say maybe it's just 6 weeks. Where are we headed? Is Roe versus Wade likely to be overturned eventually?
Well, this one's you pays your money and you takes your chances. There is just now a long body of precedent that says that these laws cannot stand, but the court has changed in its makeup over the last several years, and it's really not certain at all where this is headed. I think it's really going to be one of the most interesting decisions in many, many years to see how the court handles the issue of precedent versus what some of the more conservative justices see as the appropriate way to handle abortion rights.
And finally, on affirmative action, the court should have ruled that when it came to discrimination about Asian Americans, they kind of punted that one to next term.
Punted that one till next term. We'll see what they do on that one. That case is a very, very interesting case and will have a big impact on the decision making by various universities and colleges as to who's admitted and who's not.
All right. Constitutional law professor Robert Shapiro from St. Xavier University, thank you as always for your time. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
All right. And we'll be right back. One more break.